With the introduction of the Incarnon Adapters, we're seeing a brand new wave of weapons that essentially replace all weapons in the meta. One such weapon is the Incarnon Strun. This thing hits like a bloody truck, its area of effect, and it annihilates whatever stands before it. As always, my name is Leyzar, and I got a couple of builds lined up. Something cheap? Nah, not really. You see, these weapons are not exactly new player friendly, since new players can't get their hands on the Incarnon Adapters, so we're gonna go straight for the end game setup. That said, I will still explain exactly what talents you need, what is the rationale behind them, and what kind of options you're looking at for the build. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the Incarnon Strun. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of our regular free shots. The Incarnon Strun will be handling the same as the regular Strun. This is a hitscan shotgun with a bit of a kick to it. As you can see, the spread on the pellets is pretty large, so the weapon normally is to be used rather up close and personal, something like 10 meters till the target. Now, this being an Incarnon weapon, as soon as you install the adapter, you get the little bar under the crosshairs, and as soon as you get headshots, that bar will start charging pretty quickly, I might add. Free shots to fully charge it without any additional multi-shot. By default, the Prime version of the Strun has 12 pellets, which is pretty significant, 2 more than the Wraith. When you go in Incarnon form, this one goes absolutely bloody nuclear. No longer is it a shotgun, no longer is it anything. This one fires a rapid moving projectile that upon contact detonates in a 4-meter radius with only a 20% drop off. This is it. Explosions galore, my friends, and these explosions hit like a bloody truck. More damage, more crit chance, more status chance, essentially more everything. This one is so unbelievably powerful. That said, the usability of the weapon is pretty solid by default. You don't really need to change anything. While it does retain its headshot multiplier, so you should be going for headshots, this being a critical weapon, you can go by shooting for the feet without any issue whatsoever, especially considering that's only a 20% drop off. But at this point, we gotta visit what's-his-face to see about those talents. At level 2 is the first real option you get between the following: Tenno Targeting and Blazing Battle. I'll make it very simple. Tenno Targeting doesn't really work all that well, while Channel ability active. Right now in Warframe, this is a little bit on the buggy side. Some work, some don't work. It's a bit iffy and fuzzy, so for the time being, forget about this one. 2 extra damage, flat damage, and 4 punch through for that one. Blazing Battle is better anyway. Damage by 2, and that is per pellet damage, that is flat damage. On fire, 5% multi-shot stacks up 5 times, and this one will be up all the time. Fantastic talent at evolution 2. When you go to evolution 3, this one is highly subjective. First of all, you got 60% reload, and don't get me wrong, this will make a big difference when the weapon handles in its normal form. But in its normal form, you fire it twice, and then it's full, you go Incarnon form. That's it. You don't really need the reload speed. You're not really gonna be playing this weapon in its normal form, so what's the point of reload speed? Galvanic reload, on the other hand, is a bit more interesting. Check this one out. On hitting a target with electricity status, 40% chance to restore 1 round in the magazine from the ammo pool. I tested this one with Wisp little flowers things, and it works just fine. But again, for the normal mode, and it's not even ammo regeneration or ammo skip. Essentially what this one is just ammo shift. It's not really all that worth, except if you want to build a weapon for its primary fire mode, so you can just keep on firing all the time. It's semi-automatic. You gotta bind your fire to your scroll wheel or make a macro, and he's not all that happy about macros, so you know what, you're gonna end up with swift deliverance, because this one works both in its normal form and it's in Incarnon form. 30% projectile speed. This one, together with the galvanized acceleration in the XL slot of the weapon, makes those explosive projectiles nigh on hit scan. It's absolutely fantastic. Go for swift deliverance, but honestly, when it comes to this 3, it's a bit subjective to say the least. And finally, the most powerful talent, right? Well, yes and no at the same time. What you choose here will be highly dependent on you as a player, and I'll explain exactly why that is. Do you have a Riven, yes or no? If you have a Riven, then you have a choice of 2. Either you're going to be going with elemental balance or Commodore's Fortitude, depending on the Riven. What do I mean by this? If it's a standard multi-shot critical Riven, then you're going to be going for Commodore's Fortune and increase that critical chance by 12% and go for the standard Hunter Munitions approach. That 12% is modifying the base. Yes, take a look at this, 36%. So essentially all of your mods are going to be bouncing off of this one, and you know critical deceleration is going to be adding 200% on top of this, so you're going over 100%, which means what? Which means guaranteed crits, which for Hunter Munitions is absolutely vital. If you have a Riven, a crazy Riven with minus 100% impact, then you can go for Elemental Balance and increase that status chance 11.3. Might not seem like a lot, but my friend, it's per pellet. Your status chance will be going absolutely insane. Highly recommend this one, but it is again Riven dependent. So let's make things simple. No Riven or critical standard Riven, Commodore's Fortune, minus 100% impact, and plus, I don't know, multi-shot status chance, something of the sort. Riven, go for Elemental Balance. As for Brutal Edge, well, it's cool, but it's the balance approach, and honestly, you don't really need this one. These are the two best in slot. First of all, I'm gonna be showing you the weapon without a Riven, because I know most of you don't have one, and then we're gonna switch to something a bit more cookie cutter. So Commodore's Fortune is up first. As for the build itself, it's gonna be looking something like this. This is the Riven-less version. Now, these weapons are not exactly new player friendly, so if you're looking for something a bit more casual and how to build a Strun Prime, look at the cards right now. As for veterans, this is kinda what you want to build. Of course, when it comes to the faction mod, this is a bit iffy depending on your circumstances, especially if you're gonna be going Steel Path Circuit in Duviri, since the enemies there are sometimes a little bit of corrupted, but you're gonna be getting a mix. So faction mods are kind of falling from grace at the current time. You can replace this one with something like more multi-shot, for example, or even more status chance depending on the build. Galvanized Savvy is an obvious mistake. We're not going to be going for this one because explosions do not get the benefit from the direct damage, so bear that one in mind. If the status chance is that important to you, then simply go for the normal version of Savvy, which will be getting you more status chance. Galvanized Hill is a no-brainer and a must-have. Of course, Prime Ravage on this one together with critical deceleration, 108% crit chance with 4.6x critical multi. 260-60 mods on this one. It's gonna be forming vital damage and of course a little bit of flat damage with point blank and primary merciless, and Hunter Munitions is mandatory as well. Best in slot Arcane Shotgun Vendetta R5 if you're gonna be constantly using this one, or at least some of the time using this one within 5 meters. The bonus to that one, it's insane. It's 15 seconds, so you don't really need to be close all the time. It's a fantastic new arcane, and I'm gonna be doing a separate vid on Shotgun Vendetta just so you can see how amazing it is. 180% multi-shot and 75% reload speed for 15 seconds. Now, of course, most players haven't really gotten Shotgun Vendetta just yet, so we're gonna be going for the classic primary merciless. The reload speed, the damage is gonna be all juicy. In the excellent slot, you got a best in slot, which, well, it would mean I need to form out one more time, so I'm not going to be using it just this time, but Galvanized Acceleration is going to be making that fancy projectile seem borderline hit scan, especially with the talent we already picked up from Cavalero. So, let's test out the weapon like so and see how she performs. We're going to be spawning in level 165 Corrupted Heavy Goons and Exogogstead. Remember my build, I have a faction mod that only applies to the Corrupted, and it's going to do nothing versus the Exogogstead. That's one of the issues of faction mods. I already stacked a little bit of multi-shot, but let me show you what this weapon can do by itself without its incarnate form. A single shot. Not even stack. Considering this is a galvanized setup, you need to get yourself a couple of stacks. Slashes over 200,000 made easy, my friends. No problem whatsoever. Take a look at that. One shot made easy. But more importantly than that, since you're not going to be using the weapon in its normal form, what you got to take away from this is that with the weapon being a little stacked, a single shot is enough to fully charge it. Boom, done. Which is why the reload is not really needed on this one. Now we're going to be going for its incarnate form. Aim for headshots, but try to get yourself the biggest AoE wallop that you can. Take a look at that. Absolutely annihilating a pack of Corrupted Heavy Goons. And you know what? The weapon is going to be having a field day with the Exogogstead as well. This is especially impressive considering that right now one of the mods on the build is completely worthless against them. That, of course, being that Bane mod. Take a look. Beautiful, fantastic. What more do you want? And you know what? I'm not even at full power. I'm not fully stacked just yet. This is absolutely insanity. Keep in mind that in my Excel slot right now, I have nothing, my friends, and I can still do this. Take a look at the speed of the projectile. Do you need more than this? Oh, they died. Do you need more than this? You can go for the Excel slot as well. It makes the weapon handle even better and more impressive, but honestly, you don't really need more than this. What shotgun? This is like a sniper rifle, only without a scope. Upon contact, it explodes, dealing so much damage, applying so many slashes to the target. Take a look at that. Beautiful carnage, absolutely freaking fantastic. Standard build, no Riven, nothing fancy, just the weapon on its own power. That's it, my friends. Let's talk about build options when it comes to this one. This is the standard approach, but if you have a Riven, man, I have a Riven, I got myself my multi-shot, my crit chance, I cannot wait to try this one, then you're gonna be putting out Prime point blank, especially if your Riven already has the flat damage. Don't like corrupted mods? Put this one out and enter your Riven instead, because the dispo is 4 out of 5. Granted, the prices have exploded. What exactly did you expect? But their dispo is 4 out of 5. That means you can send this one into crazy territory. And again, a good investment would be Shotgun Vendetta R5. Now, my friends, let's assume that you got something like this. Damage / critical damage minus impact. Oh, mama, that's so good. You have no idea. If I get something like this, I'm gonna be dropping myself 100 munitions. My slashes are gonna be coming from the weapon. Elemental priority or proc priority or elemental weight, however you wanna call it, is gonna be heavily favored towards slash. Let me show you how a build like this should work. But of course, we're gonna have to change a talent over at Cavaliero and galvanize acceleration. Here's a bit of a veteran trick that you can do. Instead of the normal 60-60 mods all maxed out, what you can do is unranked 60-60 mods. But unfortunately, you're going to be losing yourself some damage and more importantly, some status chance. Overall, it's not really worth it, but you can do that if it makes you feel any better. One more time, the same targets as before. We're looking at the Corrupted Heavy Goons and the Exogoog 165. First, we're gonna stack the weapon all nice and plump, my friends, and then you're gonna see something really special. As before, if the weapon is stacked a little bit, you're gonna be getting yourself a single shot on your target, then it's fully charged. Like this. The slashes are insane. The weapon is not even fully stacked just yet. When you are fully stacked, throw in a couple of buffs and slashing in the millions is not a rare occurrence. Take a look at this. This mathematically is better than the standard hunter munitions approach. But of course, this is dependent on a Riven, and I can easily make this weapon look insane if I put on a Riven. The point here is you have options depending on what you have available for the weapon. If you got a Riven like this one, then definitely go for an approach such as this. I mean, look at that. And again, the Bane mod against these Corrupted Heavy Goons, against these Exogoog is not doing anything, right? It's completely worthless to them. Take a look. Kaboom. I can keep showing you this over and over and over and over again. It only gets more and more impressive. Oh, but of course you know what you can do, right? Hold on there, Lazar. I can get viral from some other place. Panzerwulpefeiler, maybe a secondary epitaph or whatever else. Well, in that case, more critical damage. More critical damage with shrapnel shot, my friends, is a fantastic idea. Or more multi-shot if you want to. Just a little bit more multi-shot. I know what you're gonna say. Dude, we have so much multi-shot. You can never get enough. More multi-shot is definitely a good idea. Or you can plug into this one whatever you want. If you want more flat damage, that's totally fine. More status chance is totally fine. Essentially, you can go with whatever you want. In my case, galvanized acceleration prevents me, so we're gonna be taking this puppy off. There are a couple of more niche options which will work really, really well on this one. Let me show you Motus setup. Insanity. Insanity Incarnate, 100% critical and status chance for 4 seconds, landing from a double jump or bullet jump. Here's the thing, we bullet jump all the time in Warframe, but I just don't want to have to worry about doing it so the buff is up. I constantly look at my buff bar, it's only 4 seconds. If it was a tad longer, it's not a bad idea, it's a great idea. I'm just simply not comfortable with something like this. So I'm gonna go for the tried and true recipe of multi-shot and the chance to increase those critical hits. For the sake of proper demonstration, I'm gonna show you a clean run. That is from the beginning, no stacks, no anything, so the weapon doesn't seem more powerful than it actually is. So let's find some enemies to actually shoot. Headshot this guy. What the hell? Why no charge? Because the enemies are not powerful enough to take on full multi-shot. When the enemy is powerful enough, like that, you get yourself the full multi-shot. Now let's see what the weapon can do. And this will carry on and on and on. Oh, 400,000 bleed there. Not bad, not bad. We can do so much better, however. The problem is these targets are not tough enough. I mean, on that 200 crit, the slash would have been glorious. But I can just stay here and shoot things. It's totally doable. The little sentries are immune to status stat. So you can't really slash a little sentry, which is a bit annoying. I can show you this weapon all day. All day long I can show you doing whatever and it's still gonna be as impressive as ever. That was a one shot in the capture target. No matter that it went cloaked, it's gonna come out of cloak any second. This is it. This is one of the weapons that you need to enjoy in Warframe. How long will it be this powerful? What exactly is the developer planning? I do not... 700,000 bleed over there? I do not know. What I do know, my friends, is that you should enjoy and have fun right now with this glorious weapon. Now what I am doing is stalling for time so an acolyte shows up, because I want you to see how this one performs versus an actual acolyte, if that is relevant anymore in Warframe. The point here is that if you want to further optimize the weapon build, if you have a Riven like this one with minus 100% impact, if you want to go that route, in that case, try to incarnate the Wraith over the Prime, because that one has higher status and it's going to be even more crazy. You see, the whole choice between, hey, should I incarnate the Wraith or the Prime is a bit more complicated than you might think. I got a full guide on that one, a full explanation. Look at the cards right now. I think I had a bit of an audio issue there, but hopefully the video was pretty clear. Made pretty much mincemeat out of angst. I went shot by shot so you can see exactly what the weapon can do versus it. Now that was the weapon. On its own 2 feet. No Warframe buffs, nothing ridiculous. It's time to get ridiculous. With Lady Mirage Prime and her outstanding buffs. Corrosive projection against heavily armored targets, definitely a no-brainer, but of course you're not forced into this one. Simply go for the aura of your choosing, depending on what you need for your build. Arcane's Avenger, a no-brainer on this weapon. Even if you go for the crit route or non-crit route at Cavaliero, going for Avenger is still definitely the way to go. As for your secondary Arcane, you can go for a little bit of fire rate, but you go shot by shot anyway, and the first Arcane should always be reserved for your Warframe, something like your Energize. But shotguns do have this thing, Arcane Momentum, which is super cheap. Critical hit, 60% chance for 150% reload speed to sniper rifle. No, it wasn't momentum. What was it? What was it? Tempo. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Tempo. On critical hit, 50% chance for 90% fire rate to shotguns for 12 seconds, and the usual +1 arcane revive. I would highly recommend you do the following. Forget about viral on the actual weapon, yeah, and just simply go for an epitaph or the Panzer full profile. You can also use the little sentinel to increase your critical tiers. One more time, same targets as before, we're going to be unpausing them so they can hit me and I can get my glorious buffs, and you're going to see hell being rained down from above by Lady Mirage Prime. Death from above! Beauty flare, my friends. What more can you ask of a weapon than this? It's easy to use, it gets a fast charge, its area of effect, it applies more slash than anything, really. It's honestly a weapon you need to get right now. How long will it last? If D will nerf it, these are details at this point. What I can tell you is that I am having a whole lot of fun. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you got any feedback for me, I would love to read it in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below, if you guys want to suggest any particular type of content. That said though, there is one weapon that was just released with Duviri that can do even more than this one. Wanna see which it is? Look at the cards right now. Oh, and if you enjoy the content and you want to help me keep making it, consider supporting us via Patreon. There's gonna be another link in the cards right about now or in the description down below. I'll catch you fantastic people in the next one. Bye bye!